Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Cam's Retro Gaming. So I mentioned this in a previous video that the Sega Genesis is probably my favorite console of all time. I certainly have more iterations of the Sega Genesis and sort of its offshoots than any other console. So I kind of gathered all my Genesises, my Genesi, whatever the plural is, and I wanted to show them all off for you. It was kind of insane how many I have. I really just use one, and I'll show you that last, my kind of daily driver, I guess you call it. But we'll kind of start with the beginning. So first off is the original Model 1 with the high definition graphics. So this is one of the more desirable models just because the sound is superior to a lot of the later ones, and I can attest it certainly is. But not only that, I have a Sega CD Model 1 attached. The Model 1 is probably the coolest looking Sega CD model, although honestly, it is known for kind of drive issues. Mine, if I remember correctly, I haven't used it in a long time, but the drive itself, it will tend to close automatically. So fortunately, it's not opening automatically. But yeah, this is just super sleek, very futuristic looking, really cool unit right here. So the Model 1, Genesis, and Sega CD. Okay, so next we have the Model 2 Sega CD. We're kind of doing the Genesis and its offshoots, I guess. It's so Model 2, this is way more reliable than the Model 1. You just have the flip top right here, and you can put the Model 1 or Model 2 Genesis onto this tray. The Model 1 looks better, obviously. The Model 2, if I remember correctly, actually, you know what? I think I had that reversed. I think the Model 2 fits perfectly. The Model 1 kind of overhangs. It's been a long time since I've had this set up. And I fortunately also have the box, which is ginormous, and it's upside down. So yeah, box for the Model 2 Sega CD. Moving on is this was my daily driver for a long time, the CDX, probably the sleekest and most aesthetically pleasing version. A neighbor of mine had this when it came out, and I remember being pretty blown away at the time because he would bring it and use the CD player functionality as like a Discman. And this is a big ass expensive Discman, but there's actually a compartment right here for batteries. It uses, I think, what, 2 AA batteries. So pretty cool. And crazily enough, I have another one. So I've ended up with 2 of these things. So I was using this and got a backup just to have, because, you know, you just never know. I will say that the CDX is sort of known for not having the best sound. I'm not sure how the video stacks up, but I can agree the sound is not the best on that model. So we have some other offshoots right here. We have the Sega Nomad. Now, I've had a few of these over the years. I've sold a whole bunch. Well, it's not sold a whole bunch. I've sold a couple. This is cool because it also has a controller port, so you can use this as a Genesis and hook it up to your TV with the AV out. So it's pretty unique. Has a spot for the battery compartment. I think I have battery back, but also I have 2 of these. So this is my craziness when it comes to Genesis stuff. I found them both for good deals, and I'm not going to pass up a Sega Nomad. And let's see, oh, I got a couple of the battery packs or compartments right here. So these can be tough to get. Next, we have the most modern version. Now this is the analog Mega SG, I think. Maybe I think it's the Mega SG. Pardon me. Can't remember what it was called, but it's basically the Genesis analog console. This thing works great if I'm using an HD TV. All my games, like my retro game stuff, I keep in a different room, and then if I'm for some reason upstairs hanging out and I want to play the Genesis, this is a great way to do it. I think these are discontinued, but this is actually the very first analog console I've purchased. I own the Super Nintendo version of this. I also have the PC Engine / TurboGrafx / CD version, and I have a couple of Analog Pockets, which I love. Those are great. But Analog makes killer products, and this is absolutely one of them. Okay, I think that covers all my hardware that is not hooked up to a TV. So real quick, we'll take a look at what I have connected. Okay, so we're on a little field trip here. This is my 32X hookup. So I'm using a Model 2 Genesis with my 32X, and I do have an additional 32X because these things are not reliable. I think this one. I think my other one I've changed changed the caps in. This one I can't remember if I had or not, but this one for some reason just works better. Now the fatal flaw in these is the connection is either between the Genesis and the 32X or the cartridge slot itself. So just word to the wise, if you are looking into buying a 32X, just know that they can be pretty finicky. So it is it's good to have a standalone, if you have the means, something that you're just going to plug 32X cartridges in and not have to fool with, using that for everything, because I think they're kind of prone to wear too. And finally, you're probably wondering, my daily driver Genesis console, it is the JVC XI. Pardon me, it's like I said, it's hooked up, so it might be a little dusty here, but this is the creme de la creme, the Cadillac of Genesis consoles. This has a built-in Sega CD. It has incredible sound, and I have this hooked up with an HD Retrovision cable, and boy oh boy does it look absolutely incredible, absolutely amazing. I purchased this. I actually got this at a local store. Funny story, I saw it, I could not believe it. It was relatively expensive. It was a few $100 if I remember, and it did not come with the correct adapter. And I kind of have an idea that, or I had an idea that the XI needed a specific adapter, and it did. So I had to track an adapter down, and I had this on hold. I changed my mind. I decided not to get it. I left the store, went back the next morning looking for it. It wasn't there. Then I said, hey, I had it on hold. So what had happened is they took it off hold and put it in the back, and they had not put it back out. So I was very fortunate to grab it, and it works great. Cartridge works great. CD works great. Like I said, it sounds beautiful. And I ended up finding an aftermarket adapter that works perfectly. So there you have it. That's my JVC XI, my absolute favorite way to play Genesis games and Sega CD games. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you soon.